Good evening, everybody. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome. We're going to start off our board meeting with our administrative report from Dr. Laura. Laura, please.
Good evening. I would like to start the administrative report with some good news. So first, I think the community and the board should also know that Lisa Dunn, our assistant principal over at the middle school, has successfully earned her doctorate in administration and instructional leadership. So now, from St. John's University, Dr. Leone is an alumni from St. John's University for the doctoral program. So now Lisa will be referred to as Dr. Dunn. So congratulations to Lisa. Also, we are extremely proud to report that Sarah Keene is going to be a Channel 12 Scholar Athlete. Sarah, I'm sure many of you have recognized Sarah because she's an outstanding track and cross-country athlete. In addition to that, she's a multi-year captain. She's one of our top 25 students. She's in National Honor Society, president of the Best Buddies Club, which is going to be approved by the board tonight to reconvene the meetings this year. And overall, she's just a really fantastic individual and does a lot of community service as well. So congratulations to Sarah. So it's been particularly challenging. We're trying to support our students as best we can with some of the standardized tests that are needed for college. So on October 14th, we offered the SAT to all 11th and 12th graders and the PSATs to 10th and 11th graders. It's particularly challenging having Stephen High School as a testing site because the College Board does not allow us to just siphon out our students and open up our doors for our students to take the SATs. So on any given session, we may have students coming from 10, 15, 20 other districts, and there may only be a handful of our students signed up for the designated testing site. As everybody knows, we've been very cautious about opening up our buildings. We want to be able to stay open for our own students, and we've been really worried about any cross-contamination in a COVID environment. So we're really happy that we were able to do that on October 14th. Similar to that, I did want to say we do have our regular superintendent conference day on election day where the students are at home and teachers are participating in professional development. There are 2 schools that are used as voting sites, the Harbor and the Manor. So what we're going to do this year is all of the teachers will be at the middle school and the high school because we really don't, again, want to commingle. We don't have control of the Board of Elections and who's allowed to come into the school. So it's going to be a little bit regulated with regards to the access that the outside has to our schools. And we'll work collaboratively with the Board of Elections just to make sure they have what they need. But we're also going to limit access points to the school. And then, of course, we'll do a deep clean on the rooms that we use by the Board of Elections before children are back in those areas, and staff and faculty. I also wanted to just say that we're going to have a couple awards tonight in the superintendent's goals. So that's in my administrative report, but we're going to do that in more depth in a little bit. I did want to give a report with regards to the COVID environment. So we just started week 8. I'm really happy to report that thus far, knock on wood, we have not had to close any of our schools. We have had 5 cases that are all unrelated, 2 at the Harbor, 2 at the middle school, and 1 at the high school, none at the Manor, so Deb wins the prize. We'd like to thank the entire community for being part of the solution with regards to keeping secrets safe. And I think it's really important to mention that this has been a very deliberate action on how we set up protocols to make sure that we stay as safe as possible. I want to once again publicly thank the members of the task force, which is still in place, for creating the reopening of schools plans, as well as Central and and building administration. There's not an administrator in this district that has not given 150% of their energy, time, commitment to the district and the commitment to keeping our doors open. So some of which are here tonight. Mr. Burson, if you please will take back to the SASE unit the praise that they just so deserve for their commitment to the school district, as well as Mr. Adler. So you're right, Mr. Adler, please tell the teachers. Teachers have been so flexible, so willing to do everything and anything possible to make this a pleasant experience for the students, as well as the clerical or teaching aides. Security has just been phenomenal and flexible. Custodians, everybody should see a custodian and thank a custodian. So Mr. Costa, please tell them. Mr. Bardo, please go back and tell security. And last but not least, parents and students. It's just been a really heartwarming experience to see the students, particularly the kindergarten classes, because my office is right by the kindergarten classes. They've adapted so beautifully. The teachers are so happy to be back at school, and it's really been quite magical to have everybody running on as many cylinders as we possibly can at this point in time. And it would not be possible if it weren't for the Board of Education. And Mr. Adler and I talked about this often with regards to PPE and the things that we've needed to keep everybody safe. The Board of Education has not once said no when safety was at hand. So I think everybody should know that the board has been outrageously supportive of our initiative to reopen schools and reopen them safely. So thank you, everybody. And I just wanted to also give an update on something that I'm sure is in the hearts and minds of a lot of residents, and that is we have had some incidents that are of concern at the Secret Harbor Elementary School. I'd like to begin by saying that we've worked very collaboratively with the 7th Precinct and our resource officer from Homeland Security. Tonight we have with us the commanding officer of the 7th Precinct, Inspector Hirsch. He's here with us tonight, as well as one of our cop officers, Ray Luthi, who he's been, every time I'm there in the morning at the harbor, so is Ray Luthi there in the morning, so thank you very much. And we do appreciate the additional support. And of course, they'll be here during the public comments when we're talking about, I'm sure some community members may have some comments regarding this issue. So just to recapitulate a little bit, what is in some of the correspondences that have already sent home. So on September 22nd, a neighbor in the harbor area was yelling profanities at children and school employees. The police were called and a report was filed. The district was notified then of an incident that occurred off school grounds in the beginning of October. The district issued and confirmed receipt of a no trespassing letter, which means that if this individual enters into or onto any of our campuses, such person would be arrested once the police were called. The police, again, have done an amazing job of communicating with us and collaborating with us. So the patrol cars are fully aware of the no trespassing letter and they're fully aware of who this individual is. To be proactive and to make sure that students are able to go outside, we've moved recess to the front of the building and put in additional security guard there during the recess time. So that person has a radio and that person is responsible for monitoring the parking lot, monitoring the perimeter, and making sure that the children are safe during recess. And over the last 2 weeks, I just can't commend and give my enough gratitude to the 7th Precinct for the additional support that we've had. So we really, truly appreciate it. So thank you very much.
Also, they do have the Ray app on their phones too, top of the corner, which is the direct link to the police department.
Yes, we have the rave app, and as a matter of fact, our Homeland Security officer is going to be coming into the district, and we're going to do some, some trials and signaling and making sure that everything is set up the way it's supposed to be set up.
Any questions for Dr. Clark? Okay. Thank you. So you want to skip to the scope then, real quick? Let me just, before, I think we're going to change it up because we have an inspector here and one of the officers. I don't want to keep them here for a whole meeting. So we'll do the scope presentations, which will be a couple of minutes, and then we'll take public comments in case they want to respond to any of those comments. Yeah.
Okay. So, what happens was, usually Scope Educational Services every year has an award ceremony for excellence in education, and it recognizes individuals who have demonstrated outstanding service to their school district. So this year, we had 4 recipients of that, 3 of whom are here today. So I would just like to take this opportunity to speak a little bit about Natalie Pedicic, who was one of the recipients this year. And Ms. Pedicic has served on the School Board of Education for the last 4 years. She has 3 daughters who graduated from Secret High School. She's always been an active member in the community. When her children were younger, she was a Girl Scout leader and a PAL soccer and softball coach. For the last 18 years, 19 years now, Ms. Pedicic has been a science teacher at Massapequa High School or within the Massapequa School District, and she's also provided valuable insight both as a parent and as an educator. As a superintendent, I really do appreciate the multiple perspectives that you bring to the board. And as a Board of Education member, she has enthusiastically supported the district goals of providing enriched learning opportunities for all students while creating fiscally responsible budgets. Ms. Pedicic is an advocate for students, staff, and the entire community. So thank you for everything that you do for us. So we'd like you to come on up because we have your plaque here today. Okay, so next up, Mr. Cipollino is going to present the award to our esteemed, wonderful, ever-present high school principal, Mr. Scott Burson.
Thank you. Mr. Burson has been the principal of Secret High School for 9 years. Being extremely visible in school and at school events, he has a deep understanding of the students and the Secret community. He literally knows the name of every student in this building and personal anecdotes from most of them. His knowledge of the students has guided him in creating a nurturing academic environment. Mr. Burson has grown the educational programs at Secret High School, which includes providing robust elective offerings, science research classes, and more advanced placement classes. Under his leadership, Secret High School has been recognized as a recognition school by the New York State Education Department. Mr. Burson is a champion for students, and he promotes educational excellence. Congratulations, Mr. Burson.
So, Mr. Burson, you're just going to stay up there for our next honoree, correct?
The next honoree for the Scope Awards is one of our teachers in Secret High School, who fortunately and unfortunately has left us for this year because of her work. Wendy Madalena is a true math teacher. She has been in the Secret School District for just about 2 decades. Prior to that, she was in the Baldwin School District and little other places. She is one of the teachers who students always remark with the following types of words. Madalena really cares about us. She goes above and beyond. I will text her at 10 p.m. at night. She'll get right back to me. The parents say the same thing. She has all of her parents, or at least has had over the last number of years, all of her parents on her remind accounts. And they will also remind text her at 10 p.m. and she will get right back to them. Ms. Madalena has also been a champion for faculty in our building. She was our building technology mentor for the last little while under a paid stipend, and for about the 15 years before that, she was doing it without being as a paid stipend. She has always been there for everyone in the building. She's a true quality human being, mom of 2 to me, and true educators. And we really couldn't say enough nice Please come on.
I just want to add that, Wendy, when we moved to our PDL initiative of one-to-one devices, Wendy that year signed up to be a tech mentor in the school. And the job changed drastically, but she was a leader of intervention. She is one of the most dynamic math teachers that I've ever had the good fortune of knowing. So she is dearly missed, and we are so glad that you were able to come here tonight, and we thank you for everything that you've done for the district. And before we do this next thing with Mr. Burson, we just have to recognize you one more time. Before we do that, I did want to mention that another recipient is Kathy McKenna. She's clerical over at the middle school. Mr. Serpolino and I are going to go there and personally present her with this information along with her principal in front of all of her colleagues. She wasn't able to make it tonight, but if you see Kathy McKenna, please congratulate her because she also is a very giving, wonderful person that is tremendously dedicated to the Seaford School District. So congratulations to Kathy as well. And at this point in time, so we're really pleased to announce, we're going to ask Mr. Burson to come up so we can formally present this to him. So Seaford High School was recognized by New York State as a recognition school one more time. And the recognition award is given by New York State to a school district when they show exceptional achievement, and also in all the subgroups they have high levels of performance. So congratulations, Mr. Burson. You can accept this on the part of all the teachers and students, and we're really proud of the work that you do, so congratulations. Yes. So can we have the recipients come here, and I think Mr. Hackmack is going to take pictures, so Wendy and Natalie and Mr. Burson. Okay, it's all yours now.
Bear with us 1 second from now to get the picture taken.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, congratulations to all the recipients. As we mentioned before, we're going to move on to our agenda item. We'll be pushing up resident comments. Anybody have any residents want to come up to the mic? You'll have 3 minutes. Please state your name. I just want to remind everybody, while we're meeting in public, this is not a public meeting. It's not a question and answer forum. It's a meeting where the board is conducting their business in person. Also, please be aware anything just being said tonight is being live streamed and it will be recorded and will be up on the public website.
Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Hello. Congratulations to everyone, all the honorees and award winners tonight. Thank you to the Sevens for everything they've been doing lately. Good evening, everyone. My name is Audrey Serrato. 2020, quite the doozy, right guys? COVID-19 caused our district and community to face things that we probably never thought possible. It was not your responsibility to fix COVID-19, but it was your responsibility to keep up and come up with a plan to provide a safe, secure educational experience. Under the circumstances and state mandates, I think you guys did a fantastic job. It was a little rough and bumpy in the beginning, but for the most part, I think the district did right by parents by offering options. Which brings me to the situation at hand. The man in the harbor's backyard, again, not your responsibility to fix. But you do have a responsibility to provide a safe and secure educational experience. I do think you all feel safety is a top tier priority, and I don't think any of you have your head in the sand. You at some point realized the situation was more than stranger danger. You pulled in the necessary resources and asked the police to come and protect the building and everyone in it. It's very smart and very proactive. But let's look at two facts. The man in the harbor backyard is not going away, at least not anytime soon. Nassau County Police can't camp out at the harbor for the remainder of the year. Let's talk quickly about the district security team. Dr. Bakora and I had a recent conversation, and I know the security team brings a lot to the table. We have retired police officers, which is a huge plus. The security team has and continues to have training. We also work closely with Homeland Security and the other resources that we're giving to Nassau County. Adding more unarmed guards to the harbor rotation is maybe a temporary solution, but do any of you think that is enough? Is there anyone in front of me who does not view this as an emergency? If you felt strongly enough that police presence was needed the last couple of weeks, it's hard for me to understand why the same level of attention and safety is not being offered to the harbor for the remainder of the year. I'm here tonight to request a thoughtful plan to provide armed security at the harbor school. Again, I don't expect the district to fix the criminal situation that we were all tangled up in and so frustrated with, but I do expect a level of urgency and thoughtful decision-making. COVID-19 is considered a deadly disease. You did everything you could to create a secure environment to help ensure safety from this deadly disease. That includes offering options for in-person and remote learning. It may seem like a bit of a disconnect, but we have to consider this man a deadly disease. If you do not know his history, I strongly urge you to explore it. And if it does not leave you at least a little shaken, there's a photo circulating of this man from 2014 on his deck with a gun pointing in the direction of the harbor school that I can get sent to you. It is extremely unfair and dangerous to expect our unarmed guards to be put in a position to protect our children from this criminal. On a normal day, our guards are a great fit for typical school security detail. As we know, this is far from typical. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Rock.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Serene Starter, 2201 Bay Avenue. I can appreciate Audrey's stance and her opinion, and everybody's opinion and stance that our number one priority is the children's safety. But I do hope that you would keep into consideration that not everyone in this community wants armed guards. Obviously. That's it. Have a great day.
Thank you, Serena. Any other resident comments? Just a little closer to the mic.
Alyssa Miller.
Thank you.
Instead of armed guards at the school, I know our neighboring district has a unmarked, undercover car with a undercover person who is armed in Massapequa. I think that might be another option instead of just arming the guards at the school, because I know the police cannot be there forever.
Thank you. Before I close it down, any other resident comments? Please come with your nose, sir. Okay, thank you.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Ryan Smith.
Can you please get a little closer?
Hello. That's a little. How's everybody doing? Ryan Smith, 2720 Avenue. I am actually a graduate of Seabird. And I was wondering, is there any way that the school district could get involved with the courts to maybe have this guy when he's out on probation, waiting for his court date? Is there a way for them to get involved that he can be removed and put in like necessary home under supervision? Because I actually, I know the guy's history, because I grew up there. So, I am a little for armed guards or undercover, because obviously, some precinct, they do a great job, but they also have other things to do. So, that's all I have.
Thank you. Oh, back.
I just want to say thank you.
Okay, it's resident comment. You want to just say thank you?
I
That's
just
great.
wanted to say thank you, Happy Hour, President of the United States. I just wanted to publicly thank the Board of Education for giving us the resources to safely and effectively open up our schools. Central and Building Administration and the task force for implementing the plan, teachers and staff, custodians, janitors, all the staff. But the hard work every single day, but most importantly, I just want to say thank you to the students. They make this challenge head on, and they really step up to the challenges. As Dr. McCoy said, it's been amazing to see the students day in, day out, how they handle themselves. I just wanted to say that.
Okay, I'd like to say congratulations, we haven't met in person yet since last, I know Barbara was always at our meeting, we always got to say hello and also.
I apologize, I didn't miss that.
Okay, I know it's great, so.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
But I know it's present, but I just wanted to publicly say that.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, this time, Inspector, if you like, I don't know if you want to say any words or respond to anything. I want to thank you once again for coming down, spending the time here.
Good evening, Inspector Alan Hirsch, I'm the commanding officer of the 7th Precinct. Let me just reiterate, obviously the health and safety of the children, the staff, the residents, and the community is paramount not only to us, but to the department. And we're doing everything we can to make sure that things are safe. This is certainly on our radar. Every car in the precinct is fully aware of the ongoing situation. Our top offices, one of which is here, is probably here more than he's in my office. We do have other units that you may see in uniform that you may not see that are in plain clothes. Homeland Security as well is also involved. Right now it's kind of a process. The individual we're talking about is due back in court. We will probably be having a conference with the DA's office, with the detective division, to see what our options may be to try to, fix the issues as best we can. There is, as related to this, there is a data dispute. And there is an order of protection that has been issued that's valid, and should the individual violate that order of protection, he will be arrested again. It's pretty extensive order of protection. It covers quite a lot of parameters, including the school grounds. So, at this point, again, we are fully aware and very aware of what's going on, and it is a priority for us. I just want to let everybody know that we are doing what we can.
Thank you.
Thank you, we appreciate all your support on behalf of the residents of the school district. Thank you, Officer Busby, thank you also. Okay, moving on. Yes, Dr. Pecora.
I'm sorry. How you doing?
Good.
My name is Mike Cowley. I live at 2631 Iron Lane.
and I got to speak to Officer. Sorry that I don't want to say your last name wrong. We've met extensively, and I can't thank Nassau County enough for everything that they've done. And I think the security of the school's done a tremendous job as well. I happen to have a 7-year-old son who was in the field the day that the incident happened. And I can't tell you how many conversations I've had since then, or the words that were yelled out and the anger. And trying to explain to a 7-year-old why he was called that, the name he was called, or told to shut the F up and get off the field. He doesn't want to go out to recess. He's concerned about anytime there's loud music playing and something's going to happen. This man is extremely dangerous. And I did the last 2 weeks I've taken off from work, and I've done a lot of research on school security and this gentleman, in particular the court system, and I don't know a fraction of what these gentlemen know. But what I do know is in reading and speaking to people that were involved in Sandy Hook, 9:35 was the first call to 9/11. 9:37, police were dispatched. 9:39, they were on site. 20 kids dead. If you ask those 20 parents if they could have a redo, and it could have been a security person on site with a gun, I think he'd get 20 votes for yes. The police were there and in the building in less than 10 minutes, but it was too late. The 20 kids were shot within 5 minutes of the assailant going into the building. I don't know how you prevent that. Nassau County's been tremendous. They've been on site, but they can't always be 5 minutes away from the school. The security of the school, they're tremendous. They're all over the place. The radios are great, but they have 5 minutes from what I've read. In Parkland, very similar. And there was actually an armed security person there. So I'm just curious how we're going to protect our kids when you have 5 to 8 minutes to stop somebody who has a 22 caliber rifle or whatever this gentleman has. So that's what I'm just curious how we're going to do that without some weapon on premises, whether it's in a car, whether it's locked up and they have access to it. I'm just curious how that's going to happen. Because I don't see Nassau County being able to get there every day within 3 minutes to stop somebody. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Superintendent Coles. Projector or?
This one, you just gonna go over for me? Okay. Okay. So, as always, the superintendent goals are extension of the Board of Education goals. So if we can progress to the next slide, we can talk about the teaching and learning goal. Okay, so the teaching and learning goal, as per the Board of Education, is to provide an enriched learning environment that promotes and supports the academic growth of students so they may reach their full potential while becoming positive contributors to society. So my goals that will substantiate and help achieve that goal are to enhance the instructional programs for all students, K through 12, to meet each student's personal learning needs and to raise academic achievement in both in-person and remote instructional settings. Obviously, this is unique for this year, and hopefully it will only remain unique for this year. I will be also working towards continuing to support teaching and learning through the strategically redesigned instructional leadership team As the board knows, over the last couple of years, we've restructured the administrative team to have executive directors. We've restructured the people personnel services offices with regards to administrative leadership. And we're going to continue to focus on maximizing the talented administrators that we do have in the district and their contributions to our teaching and learning program. And lastly, this year we will be entering into our final and last stage of the PDL, the Personalized Digital Learning Initiative, the one-to-one. I think in record speed, we have gotten devices into students' hands. So we hope to do that while fostering the use of instructional technology to advance instruction. So hopefully by the end of October, all of the iPads will be in the hands of the K-2 students. And we're just still awaiting some of the devices coming in for the third graders that are coming in from overseas. So the finalization of this is something that's taken a gargantuan effort on the part of Mr. Stricolino, Mr. Lynch, Mr. Caden, and the entire team has really supported this initiative. So we're really grateful and thankful for the board to support all of the devices that we have now in the hands of students. So we're going to keep a mindful eye on that this year. Can we have the next slide, please, Mr. Lynch? So, very, very important is social emotional learning and safety. Board of Education goal is to create a safe and secure and nurturing environment that supports the physical, social, and emotional needs of our students. And to that end, I will work collaboratively with the community to create a safe environment for students in which there are multiple opportunities to develop positive relationships, healthy behaviors, and wise choices. I will also advance the security features and safety protocols by working collaboratively with local authorities to ensure that all district facilities are safe and secure learning environments. Next goal, please.
Oh, sorry.
So hugely important is the financial piece of all this. We're doing all these wonderful things, but we have to do it in a fiscally responsible way. The board goal is to create a fiscally responsible and operationally efficient budget that maintains and enhances the integrity of all programs. I will be working to develop a fiscally conservative budget that stays within the tax cap, maintains and augments CPRIC's programs, and aligns with the community's financial and educational expectations. We will also, our new Assistant Superintendent for Business and Operations, Rhonda Meserole, the two of us together will be working on developing short-term and long-term plans that focus on maintaining financial solvency and minimizing fiscal stress. Over the last several years, we've had a wonderful rating with regards to fiscal stress. 0 is about as low as you can go, and we're looking to try to maintain that as best we can, particularly in these times where we have very drained resources and state aid is questionable at best. And then last but not least is the communication goal. The board goal is to maintain and enhance communication systems that ensure the open flow of information with all stakeholders. So I will continue to work with the district and the community to continue to improve the district's public relations and communication systems to ensure effective and timely sharing of information with students, parents, and the community at large. And I have to say this year, I think the communication systems have been really taken to the max with regards to the COVID situation and some other community concerns that we've had. And we also, in addition to responding to emergencies, I think communication is really important with regards to giving the shout outs for the wonderful things that we're doing. So we do have the Instagram accounts that have gotten a lot of traction and really have been very helpful with sending the positive messages out to all the wonderful things that we're doing in the school district. I do have to publicly say, I don't know if Andrew's still here, but our PR firm, Syntax, does a really nice job and it's ever present. And it's more challenging in this environment, but we really still think it's hugely important for the community to celebrate the successes of our students. So that's going to be at the focal point of this year as well. And I'll be glad to report at the end of the year how we're doing. And then in a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing the State of the District, where we can reflect upon the successes from the prior year. So thank you. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Moving on, I need a motion for agenda item 5.1. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Need a motion for agenda item 5.2P2. Any discussion? All in favor? Nay. Need a motion for agenda item 5.2 B4, B5, B6, B7, and P8. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Need a motion for agenda item 6.1 and 2. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Contracts, can we do them together? Need a motion for agenda item 8A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, for the policies, these are going to be on second readings. Do we have any discussions about them, so we can do that as a group? Okay, need a motion for agenda item 8B1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Need a motion for agenda item 8C1 and 8C2. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, at this time, I'm going to take closing comments. Andrew, we'll start down by you.
Just wanted to thank,
Please,
Mr.
Andrew, please.
Just wanted to thank Mr. Adler for coming down and for your kind words. We truly appreciate it. The residents that came down tonight, your suggestions, comments, questions, also appreciated. And always a shout out to the teachers. I know that sometimes each day is a new hurdle between the academics and the social emotional connection. Everyone is just really on top of their game and giving 110%. It's amazing how smoothly school is going, and I definitely contribute that to the building leaders, the teachers, the students, and support from the community. So just a big thanks all around.
Sally? Stacy?
Obviously, a thank you to everybody. It's amazing what's been going on, and I would like all the community members, that what you're saying is heard. Nothing is taken lightly. We hear everything that you're saying, we're listening to everything that you're saying. So, thank you.
Just want to say thank you again to teachers and the entire staff. Custodians, security guards, DAs, every day, everybody's kind of taking the day day by day. So just thank you for all the good work. I think it really shows, what the pre-opening task force was able to do and how we've been able to stay open with minimal interruptions. Really shows a lot. And to the parents here tonight for the Harbor School situation, thank you for coming down and expressing your concerns. It's something we've talked a lot about over the last couple of weeks, and it's something we're going to continue to talk about. Get a resolution of this problem. So thank you.
Okay, Rhonda? It should be applied on the side.
Yes, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, all parts of this wonderful district. Again, another congratulations on all the recipients of the Scope Award. And I'm ready to assist Dr. Kapoor in meeting all of those superintendent goals. Thank you.
Mr. Strickland?
Tonight, on a PEAR, the personal action was a retirement of Andy Arbiter as of December 1st. Just a couple of words about Andy. He started in Seaford in 2003 as a business teacher. It was a second career for Andy, coming from the business world. And throughout the years, he taught a variety of business and computer courses at both the high school and the middle school. I just want to take an opportunity to thank him for his years of service to the students and the Seaford School District. I also just want to quickly acknowledge our new member of our administrative team, Rhonda Mesereau. Talk about baptism by fire. Everything that we've had to go through this year, she's been a great compliment to our team and is a true professional. Thank you for all your efforts, Rhonda.
Cora?
So I just want to also congratulate Andy Arbiter on his retirement, thank him for his service to the district, and echo what John said. Hans, we really do appreciate you being a member of the team. It's been fantastic having you right next door, so thank you. I don't know if Mr. Smith is still here. Is he still here, Mr. Smith? No? Okay. A comment was made that whether the school district could possibly get involved with regards to the courts. I'd just like to update the community because the board does know this. Our district attorneys have directed a letter to the Nassau County District Attorney with regards to requesting an extreme risk protection order that will be issued and an action taken by our Nassau County District Attorney. So that's not something that the schools, I think it's appropriate for us to do, but I do think it's appropriate to ask for assistance from the appropriate authorities to have that put in place. That was a letter that was drafted by one of our attorneys yesterday and was sent out. So we are doing what we can and accessing all assistance that we can from local law enforcement to also asking the courts and the district attorney to provide us some support. We did articulate, or he did articulate in a letter, the concerns, very specific concerns that the community has with regards to one of our neighbors. So we are having communications in that regard. So I wanted to make sure that you're aware of that.
Thank you for updating. I just want to say to everybody, whoever's listening, I'm sure I'm speaking for the whole board. It's not, these are your kids, these are our kids, these are like our own children, you don't treat them any less, and if anything would ever happen, God forbid, we would feel terrible. So we're doing the best we can, what we think is the right thing to do. So I thank you, we may have different opinions how we get there, but let's be respectful to everybody, which I think we have. So with that, I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Any discussion, anyone want to say anyone? All in favor? Thank you, everybody, for coming down. Our next meeting is in November, 1st.